Brawlhalla is a very unique game because there's over 50 legends, which means there's a lot of character balancing. And sometimes that means a legend can go from the very best to the worst in a matter of weeks. But there's one thing that makes Brawlhalla so amazing to me. Throughout all 50 plus characters, there are none that are inherently bad. For example, if you look at any professional tier list, the lowest tier is usually A tier, because at the end of the day, you can realistically win with literally anyone. Inevitably though, there are definitely some weaker picks that can make your games slightly harder, but how weak are they? To figure that out, I picked 4 of the weakest legends in all of Brawlhalla to see for myself if they're really as bad as people make them out to be. Starting with, in my opinion, the strongest of the weakest, at least in retrospect, because Queen Nai has incredible stats besides her speed, an amazing weapon combo, and really solid sigs, so I went in feeling really optimistic. Dude, she is so slow. It's like look how it's so bad, because you can see how slowly I just drift back to the stage. Like I'm in the air and it's the most predictable thing of all time, and that's like, you don't want that in a game like Brawlhalla. After a bit of playtime, I was honestly astonished by how much low speed affected every aspect of my gameplay. For starters, approaching was so much more difficult because it was like walking in molasses, which made every single one of my moves 10 times more predictable, and that goes for recovering back to stage too. Dying off stage practically became a common theme. The best way I can describe it is basically slowly floating back to stage, which again makes it so easy for people to track your movements and punish your recovery. It's really foreign when you queue into a game and you have basically no speed. Like you really have to, you can't just throw out moves, right? Like they have to be very precise. And like she has strengths, like you just saw that. Like if you can get people like in the blender like that, just like continue to hit people, the strength comes through. And even though you will probably be getting hit more, she has high defense, which kind of negates some of that. I will say Queen Nai has a very steep learning curve, because you really have to change your playstyle to succeed on her. For example, a rushdown aggressive playstyle realistically won't work because of, again, her extremely low speed. But she definitely thrives in other areas. The damage she can output is insane, paired with the weapons like Katars and Spear. Furthermore, her sigs hit like a truck, which can take some crazy early stocks. And although this low speed, when you have such high defense, you can definitely tank some hits, but what I was learning is that she definitely feels like a snowbally legend. If you start off hot, you usually can extend that throughout the rest of the game, but if you start off cold, it is extremely hard to catch up. With all that being said, I think I can safely rank Queen Nai in a B tier, because she can definitely be a strong pick, but heavily lacks in consistency. Next on the chopping block is Ada, who I think the best way to describe is outdated. As one of the first few legends in Brawlhalla, she has probably been most affected by power creep, from sigs and stats that used to be amazing to becoming some of the weakest, but not many people give her a chance, so maybe she'll surprise me. Ada feels so good. Like, I don't think you guys understand the absolute joy I have playing Ada after playing Queen Nai, because she has like, I don't even know, she has at least 6 speed though, I think, and high dexterity too. Like, I feel like I'm in heaven right now. My initial thoughts when playing Ada was, she's honestly super fun, although I honestly think most of that was solely from finally having decent movement speed. I really enjoyed playing around with her sigs and weapon combo, as guns is one of my personal favorites. It legitimately felt like a high after playing hours straight of 4 speed Nai. Has like such good sigs that can help kill. Obviously you have, whatchamacallit, you have downlight, but like, once people realize they're in kill percent, they're not going to be jumping a lot, and they're not going to be like, and they'll see that you start fishing for it because it's legit your only option. Because watch, like I was trying to go for a sig, but like the sigs are so situational, whereas like your Wu Shang has like the best sigs in the world. I think that initial high made me rather blind to some of Ada's glaring issues. Most prominent to me was her severe lack of strength, and I'm not talking about the stat because in that regard she's pretty strong. But with guns and spear, finishing off stocks felt like a chore because she doesn't have those reliable signatures that most other spear legends have. So you'll find yourself fishing for downlight a lot, and of course guns got nerfed into the ground, making them no help in finishing stocks. But if there's one thing I learned from this, don't sleep on gun ensig. With a large list of cons and few pros, I think we can safely rank Ada at a modest C tier, because she can be deadly in some hands, but not nearly as deadly as the top tiers. Last, and honestly probably least, is Cassidy. She has very weak stats, very weak weapons, but somewhat good signatures, and to be honest, she was the legend I had the least amount of hope for, at least at face value. I don't know if I have speed stance on, but dude, Cassidy, it's not as bad as Nye, obviously, but like, it just, man, that guy was not having it. But like, the slow speed is just the biggest turnoff in a character for me. And I think that's why these people might be like considered weak. I mean, not Ada, but the other two, obviously. Cassidy is weak, to put it lightly. My expectations during the first few games stayed pretty true to my surface level analysis, but I will say having Hammer made killing a lot easier compared to Ada. And Cassidy is one of the few legends to have a true combo that incorporates a signature, which gives her some brownie points. Cassidy, like, the dexterity on with speed stance as well. You know, I don't even care that she has 3 defense anymore. This is so fun. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I just feel so nimble. And Hammer's fun. Obviously, best sig in the game, one of them at least. I'm honestly having a lot of fun with Cassidy. After playing Cassidy a bit more, I really started to realize that she is very deceiving. Although she has all the odds stacked against her, her sigs make up for a lot of the weaknesses. Her gun sigs cover a lot of dead zones, the best example being that diagonal hitbox on her end sig, and having that signature true combo on Hammer makes her super scary. And even on its own, that Hammer end sig is extremely fast. But the speed, just like Nye, makes her a little bit more predictable, and even worse, if you want that extra speed point, you'll have to trade off a defense point, making you drop to 3 defense. Which essentially leads me to my conclusion that Cassidy is really a glass cannon. Cassidy had a lot of factors I had to consider when putting her into a rank, but when it came down to the statistics mixed with the weapons, I have to put her right next to Ada at a humble C tier. Again, not bad in the slightest, just a little weak compared to most. Alright, so before this video ends, I just wanted to take a minute to talk to you guys and say I just really appreciate you guys and the support on the last video, and I hope you enjoyed this video just as much. Also, I ran into a few of you guys in the queue, and you guys are the sweetest people ever. And if you do see me in the queue, don't be afraid to invite me to a custom lobby if you want to talk or spar. I'm down for whatever. You guys are truly the best. And I'll see you guys in the next video.